Hello, Megan. Welcome to the Livestream studio.
Hi, thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks for joining us for a chat here.
Sure.
So we're talking about non-GMO. What are some common questions you hear from brands about what non-GMO means and whether they should have it on their packaging?
Sure, yeah. So in the changing landscape of the food world, the Non-GMO Project verified logo has become more and more important in the marketplace. So the number one question we get is pretty much, how do we get verified? How do we start this process? Most of the products that come to us already kind of know about the non-GMO landscape, or the GMO landscape, I should say. So with the verification process, it's pretty simple to start out. We work with 4 technical administrators. We work with Food Chain ID, NSF, SCS, and Where Food Comes From. We're a nonprofit, so we write the standard of how people get verified, and then our third party does the verification for the Non-GMO Project label. So that's number one, for sure. That's the biggest question. And then how long it takes. It can take between 3 to 6 months depending on ingredients that are in your product. Yeah.
Are there any common hurdles that come up in that process?
Yeah, depending on if your ingredients are high risk or not. So some of the items that are high risk right now that we're most concerned about would be corn, alfalfa, soybeans, cotton's one, papaya, zucchini and potato are coming up as well. So all of those products, if those are in your ingredient list, those can cause a little bit of not concern, but it can make a little bit longer verification process if you're getting it from a company that may not be non-GMO verified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are any of those from that list or anything else sort of nearly impossible to get verified?
No, corn and soy are probably the hardest. And it's the ever-changing landscape. And so what we're doing is we're trying to get more to the supply source to get those sources actually verified, and working on, hopefully in the future, a project where a consumer can come to us and say, who can I work with to make sure that my ingredients are non-GMO? So hopefully that'll be coming in the future for sure. Yeah.
When brands are figuring out what to put on their packaging, there's so many options when they're trying to do something that's better for you.
Right.
How should they weigh non-GMO versus gluten-free and all other types of call-outs?
Sure, yeah. They're all super important. I keep saying with the changing landscape, but there's so many new GMOs coming out and emerging in the food chain that we've done Hartman studies. We've worked with them to see what consumers are looking for, and the Non-GMO Project verified label is the most trusted. It just makes for more of a peace of mind for the consumer when they're shopping in the marketplace. So, yeah.
And it seems like for that label specifically, it's always on the front, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And is that a brand choice, or is that just how it works?
That's usually where we like to see it, but it's also where our vendors like to see it as well. So any of our clients going through, that's where they put it as well. And that's working with our marketing department, and they can work with anybody going through the verification process can work with our marketing department to talk about that piece too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there any other sort of labeling, packaging trends that you're keeping track of right now?
As far as the Non-GMO Project or the Non-GMO
Just as far
landscape?
as other call-outs that are common. We've got a lot of keto products out there, lots of gluten-free, as we've already discussed today.
Yeah, we see a lot of that. We see a lot of plant-based is big for us, and we are actually seeing an uptick of those companies coming through and wanting to get verified. And I know that's a trend here. It was a trend at a couple of shows that I've been to so far this year, and I forget his name, but from Good Eggs, when he said it wasn't a trend, it was really here to stay. I believe that too. So the plant-based is huge. As well as CBD is another one that has been coming through. We're not at the point yet where we're ready to verify, but hopefully that'll be coming down the pipeline as well. Yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. Well, what else are you excited to see at the show?
So many things. This is my first time at NOSH Live, and I come from a grocery retail background before I started working for Non-GMO Project. So this part of it is really exciting for me to see all of the new brands coming through, what they look like, kind of the process of how it goes from being just an idea to actually making it onto the shelf is fascinating. So really exciting. And to make connections with some of these new brands and talk about Non-GMO Project. Yeah.
And I'm sure lots of them have questions about that, so it's nice that you'll be around to answer those.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Megan.
course.
Really nice to have you and hear more about what you do, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure.
of course. Thanks so much for watching NOSH. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ding that bell.